On a cold afternoon, Sarah visited her friend's secluded manor hidden away from the bustle of London. Nestled in the woods, the manor was a place of refuge and reflection. The cold seemed to seep into her bones, much like the doubts that clouded her mind. As they settled into the cozy warmth of the drawing room with a crackling fire and the comforting scent of bergamot tea, Sarah's friend noticed the shadows lurking behind Sarah's eyes. Their conversation meandered, but her friend sensed the deeper currents of Sarah's unrest. Over cups of steaming tea, Sarah shared her troubles, unknowingly revealing signs of low self-esteem. Sarah confessed to feeling like she was constantly battling herself. Her words were steeped in self-criticism, a torrent of doubts and regrets about choices made or not made. Seeing her struggle, her friend decided to turn the day into an unexpected journey of self-discovery. They wrapped themselves in woolen scarves and stepped outside. The manor's garden a labyrinth of frost-kissed flowers and statues. As they walked, her friend gently addressed each sign of Sarah's low self-esteem. The wind whispered through the trees, stripping the brittle leaves from their branches. Her friend leaned in, lowering her voice as if sharing a secret. "Do you hear the wind, Sarah? Just as it frees the trees of worn-out leaves. We too can let go of old, harsh words that hold us back." She handed Sarah a small, worn notebook. "Tonight, let's write those words down, and together, we will give them to the fire. Watch them burn, and think of it not as an end, but a beginning." Sarah mentioned struggling to make decisions, from minor choices like tea flavor to major life decisions. When they came to a place where the path split, her friend said, "Choose a path." Sarah hesitated at the crossroads in the garden, her eyes tracing the twin paths ahead. She glanced down at her shoes, scuffed from the journey, then up at the seemingly identical choices. Her friend, noticing the pause, gently prompted, "Sometimes, choosing isn't just about the path itself, but discovering that we have the power to choose." Each choice Sarah made, no matter how trivial, helped her feel better about deciding things. As they paused beside the statue of an ancient bard, forever captured in the act of entertaining an unseen crowd, her friend's voice took on a contemplative tone. This statue, forever pleasing others but never changing its pose. "Does it remind you of anyone, Sarah?" She waited a beat, allowing the question to sink in. Sometimes, and saying no can be as powerful as any performance, freeing us more than pleasing ever could. As they stood by the tranquil pond, its surface reflecting the early evening sky, her friend pointed towards the water. "See how the pond captures our reflections? It shows us as we are on the outside. But it can't reveal the courage, the laughter, or the struggles within." She picked up a small stone and tossed it gently into the pond, causing ripples to distort their images. Just like these ripples change what we see, our thoughts can alter how we view ourselves. Let's choose to see the strength and beauty inside, not just the fleeting reflection. As they settled onto an old, moss-covered bench, the garden around them bathed in the soft afternoon sunlight. Her friend gestured to the blooming flowers and the struggling shoots alike. See how each plant reaches for the sun, Sarah? None of them stops to think whether it deserves the light. It just is. You too are part of this garden, deserving of warmth and love, not for what you do or achieve, but simply because you exist. As they meandered through the vibrant rows of the garden, her friend suggested a light-hearted game. Let's share something more than just our favorite plants today, her friend began, her voice encouraging yet gentle. Let's also say why they resonate with us. It's in these small, safe moments that we find our voice. Sarah hesitated, then smiled, her gaze lingering on a resilient, blooming daisy. I like the daisy because it seems unassuming yet strong, much like the words I'm learning to speak. This helped Sarah practice saying what she thinks in a place where she felt safe. As the day ended, they planned a small tea party for the following week. Just a few friends in a place where you feel safe, her friend suggested, helping Sarah get used to being around people. As twilight descended, they gathered around the fire's warm glow, each holding a piece of paper scrawled with the weight of past burdens. One by one, they tossed these into the fire, watching as the flames eagerly devoured them. See how the fire transforms our fears into light and warmth? Her friend whispered, her eyes reflecting the firelight. It takes what we give it and makes something new, just as we can with our lives. Sarah watched, a quiet realization dawning in her eyes as the embers crackled. The manor standing stoically behind them, a steadfast witness to her rebirth. After the goodbyes, Sarah left the manor. She walked away not only with solutions, but with a newfound understanding. Like the garden paths that twist and turn unpredictably, the journey to self-esteem is uniquely her own, yet she knows she doesn't walk it alone. With each step, her friend's support and the day's lessons continue to guide her, lighting her path toward a future where she stands strong in her own worth. May we all find the strength to grow in self-love and courage. Blessed be.